So here's some blueprints, view, and assessment notes on Entre.
And I believe you need a digital business that can give you the energy to live any life that you choose. But there's very specific ways you need to look at it, very specific questions you need to ask that we're going to dissect in the latter part of this presentation. I expect this conversation is going to last about 20 minutes. So buckle in, we've got a lot to cover. First of all, a recap of the Entre Blueprint. Thank you for going through the Entre Blueprint, by the way. That's it's been a labor of love for me to create it. This is literally the raw material of my life. It's taken me decades of, testing and experimenting and living and just being in the world and trying different things to kind of figure out this blueprint. And it's in a way it's easy to say in 6 lessons, but it was hard to figure out because I had to live for 20 years to get there. I appreciate you sharing it with me because it's honestly a very personal project of mine to create it. The first lesson, as you well know, was about the 3 P's of an awesome life. We talked about physical, personal, and professional excellence. I hope that that maybe challenged you in some healthy ways. And specifically, what I hope is that as you identified areas of potential improvement, you get really excited and really clear on how having a digital business, having this. I think of it as like a battery you can plug into your life where it produces time freedom, it produces financial resources, and like suddenly you have the room to maneuver and to work on all these different aspects of your life and really creating an awesome life that's as fully awesome as it can be because this energy source at the center of it, this digital business is just providing for you in a way that is so much easier than the more traditional ways of making a living in this world. I hope that you're excited about that and that you don't feel daunted that like, oh my gosh, there's all this work to do, physical and personal and relationships and professional and building myself, but instead you're excited and inspired that my gosh, I can really tend to myself. I can really tend to my life with the help of a digital business. Next, we look at lesson 2, the 3 legs of successful action. Hopefully this makes sense to you, and hopefully you use this as a filter moving forward that says, okay, I'm not likely to be successful in any action or any plan that I make for my life unless I have these pieces in place. I have to have social context and support through some sort of an aligned community. I have to have specialized knowledge to my task, and I have to have a strategy that is consistent with both who I am and what I believe, but also with, sound best principles of logic in best practices in whatever discipline it is, right? These things all have to be in place. Obviously, at Entre, we've done our best to put these pieces in place for you so that you can stand. Essentially, you can borrow the strength of our stool, borrow the strength of our legs while you stand on it to develop your own strength and build your own life. With community, obviously, we have Entre Nation Elite, Entre Inner Circle, and our influencers groups, which are more exclusive groups you may not have heard about yet. But basically, there's a macro community, and there are communities within the community where you can really, really find the support and the like-minded people to help you move in the direction that you want. Obviously, knowledge. This is Entre Institute. It is an institute. We are dense with knowledge. We have much to share. You've been through the Entre Blueprint. We have our Max Value Marketing course that teaches affiliate marketing. We have our e-com incubator that goes in detail on e-commerce marketing. We have our digital consulting bootcamp, our Super Affiliate Secrets course. Entre Nation has an entire library of courses, and so on and so on. There's advanced courses. We are, like I say, overflowing with knowledge. One of the hardest parts of my job is to actually not give you too much knowledge too fast because it can overwhelm and intimidate people. And I have to constantly remind myself that not everyone is a full-time digital entrepreneur yet. A lot of people still have jobs. A lot of people are, inundated with a million other things going on, and they haven't, even maybe just mentally, they haven't fully committed or they haven't fully pivoted into this life and this way of thinking, and that if you overeducate, you can almost scare people off. But trust me, there is a lot of knowledge waiting for you to absorb inside of the Institute. And then finally, strategy. And this is one of the harder pieces to put in place because it's so personal. Remember, strategy is where your plan overlaps with your belief system or your identity. It's something that has to be customized and tailored to you, the whole person. This is why you get an advisor to walk with you even through the Entre Blueprint. We have senior advisors that work with our business builders who are already in business, and private coaching that can extend as far and run as long as you want. We have people that have literally coached with us for multiple years. That's through our Entre Results program. You can learn more about that later as well. But we are big on making sure that you have the support and the objective reinforcement as needed to stay on point with great strategy. Then in the third lesson of Entre Blueprint, we looked at the 3 phases of building your legacy. You, I'm sure, remember these. Phase 1 is all about leverage. You need to create new levels of cash flow, new levels of income that allow you to get a leg up or get some leverage and kind of leapfrog where you've been stuck. It takes cash flow to really create an extraordinary life. And second phase is growth, where you want to stabilize that cash flow. You need to make it something you can predict, something you can bank against, and ideally even something that you can sell to create more options and more choices for yourself in terms of how you allocate resources. And then the third phase is the wealth phase, where you move into creating generational assets with guaranteed, highly predictable, highly stable cash flows. A lot of this, as I've said, is offline investing. This isn't all, Entre doesn't only happen on the internet. There's an entire phase where we talk about building real, tangible offline wealth. But for most people, that comes much later. And then we went through the actual business models, the digital business models that we use, and we kind of mapped them out across these phases. This is just a quick chart to kind of recap how affiliate marketing can get you new levels of cash flow with relatively low investment to push you through that first phase. E-commerce can actually carry into the second phase because you can start to predict and forecast a more stable cash flow. There's even a market to sell an e-commerce business. And digital consulting, obviously for me, that was my growth phase. I was able to take the skills that I learned in affiliate marketing and e-commerce and start selling them to businesses as services, and ultimately create a highly predictable and bankable and sellable cash flow base, several $100,000s a month that I was able to actually sell for multiple 7 figures and really, catapult into the wealth phase of my life. And that's how those 3 business models tend to operate. And look, this is never exact for any one other person. Nobody's life is going to perfectly mirror my life. But I have seen this over hundreds and hundreds of people that I've worked with personally, and certainly thousands that I've observed. I've seen these dynamics play out with these 3 different business models. And then we obviously talked a little bit about investing. This is when you get into that wealth phase and building your legacy. And there's obviously more training about that inside of Entre, but for most people, that again comes much later. We need to get that battery plugged into the center of our life, that digital business that is producing financial resources and time freedom. Then we have a lot of great opportunities and very fun things that we can do in terms of investing and creating legacy. Now, let's talk about the products and services of Entre. This will be brief. I just kind of want to, give you the picture of the landscape of Entre and all the things that we do offer over time. Obviously, you know about Entre Nation. This is the premier online community of business owners and awesome life creators. It's one of the fastest growing communities online, where you not only can get access to some of the trainers and myself here interacting in the group, but to the community as a whole. A super valuable resource. Entre Nation Elite, which is the paid upgrade to Entre Nation, where you actually get direct hands-on weekly trainings with myself and our staff members and our top trainers here. You also get access to the elite members within Entre and kind of VIP support, VIP networking. There's a whole course library inside of Entre Nation Elite, really, really powerful membership group. And of course, our digital courses, which are kind of where the ideas and the theory and the intention gets put into actual practice to say, how do I get my hands dirty and build the businesses or businesses that can power my awesome life. And we'll look at these in more detail later, but basically These are where you're really going to start to learn the skills and the tools so that you can actually start to construct the machinery that will pay and fund and support and power and drive your awesome life. This is really where most people need to put most of their focus initially. We talk about the 3 legs of successful action: knowledge, community, and strategy. Obviously, Entre Nation kind of covers your bases on the community portion, but usually most people getting involved have a knowledge gap. There are simply knowledge and skills that they need to learn and acquire so that they can actually do the work to create the business to power this awesome life that we talk about here. And then we do have advanced training and support. As far as the eye can see, we have senior advisors that work with our business builders. We have live workshops. We have dedicated one-on-one coaching programs. We have elite high-end mastermind groups. There's even an option to coach privately with me. Lots of great opportunities for people once you kind of get the wheels turning and start putting the pieces together. So let's talk about putting those pieces together and what you need to consider so that you can make intelligent decisions and get started building your business. This is what your business plan is about. It's about getting together with your advisor, having a personalized conversation to say, hey, I need to do the best thing for me to move forward into the life that I want. I want to start building that awesome life, but just wanting an awesome life doesn't qualify me for an awesome life. If wanting things qualified you to have them, then everybody would have a lot more than they do. The fact is you have to make some intelligent decisions and you have to get ready to roll up your sleeves and get to work. And that's a lot easier to do when you know that you're doing it in a way that's the right way, that's personalized for you. So these are the things that this next phase, actually this last phase of this video, is going to really be helping you understand the business models and the different choices you have right now in terms of your own life and what you're bringing to the table and what you're ready to take on and how you can make that best decision that's the right decision for you, okay? So I want to analyze the different digital business models in terms of skills required, speed, and stability. Now you'll notice that I've added a 4th business model to this table. And I debated on doing this because I don't want to overwhelm anyone. But the reality is, and I'm a good example of this, once you kind of have this set of skills under your belt, there's a whole other world out there called information marketing and even product creation where you can basically start creating your own stuff online. In my case, I created Entre Institute. I wanted to teach people about these business models. Other people have created businesses around really anything you can imagine. There's people that love yoga. There's people that love dogs. There's people that manage various health conditions. There's people that advise on how to get jobs inside of other industries. There's people that talk about meditation. There's people that talk about, how to live longer, how to lower your metabolism. There's anything you can think of. There's people that talk about model airplanes. There's people that talk about collecting old cars. There's people that talk about rebuilding an engine, from scratch. There's literally a video course on how to take apart your car and put it back together. Like anything you can imagine, you can pretty much create an information marketing business around once you have these skills. And so I put that on here because, look, I know that's not for everyone. I know that doesn't speak to everyone, but there's some people who say, there's got to be more to all this than just figure out a business and figure out a way to make money. There's a big dream or a big picture for my life, or I have a message and I know that it's meant to get out there to the world. This is for that person, right? It doesn't have to be for everyone, but there is a way, whatever your message is, whatever your voice or your vision or your passion is, these skills not only can get you to a place where you have a legacy of, having a lot of money or a lot of resources and being able to take care of generations to come, but that you can actually give business voice to your passion or purpose. And I say give business voice. What I mean is get it out there to the world where it's a commercially viable thing so that frankly you can afford to keep getting it out there to the world. If you have a deep passion around saving the rainforests, then creating an online business to promote that awareness that actually pays for itself is going to ensure your ability to keep getting the message out, right? So, I just sort of planting this seed that these skills, you can take them as far as you want. Now, that said, let's talk about these skills. Okay, so what I've done is over here on the left, I've kind of made a very general list. This is very high level, but a very general list of the different skills that go into creating any sort of online business. Not creating all online businesses, but basically this is anything you could possibly want to do online is probably going to pull from one of these skills. Lead generation, written selling, which means, sales copy, writing with words, or maybe writing ads that you get people to click on, that kind of thing. Verbal selling, which would be either face-to-face or over the phone, being able to speak and articulate and move people to a decision that way. Sales funnels, which is, setting up websites that move people along in an internet business. Sourcing products means going out and finding products to sell. Handling transactions means dealing with getting paid, merchant processing, accepting credit cards. Creating products, that's obviously really only going to happen at that fourth column of creating a product, but it is something, there's some creative work in actually coming up with ideas and organizing ideas. Supporting customers, meaning somebody buys something, they have a question, they want a refund, they need to do a warranty claim, whatever it is, you've got to be able to support them. You need somebody to, answer an email or deal with a support ticket. And then managing staff. The idea of an internet business is it's very lean, very nimble, doesn't require a lot of staff. But certainly for myself, I can tell you that there's a point where as you grow your enterprise, you'd be crazy not to try to enlist the help of some other people. I've managed over 100 employees at one point when I had both my agency going full throttle and was building the beginnings of Entre. Since I sold a good chunk of the agency, that number's down now. But there's definitely a place for learning how to manage staff if you get to that point. So those are kind of all the different skills. And we can look at each business model and say, all right, what are the skills required to deal with this one business model? And they go from left to right, from fewest to most. Affiliate marketing, and you can see I've mapped it all out here, but affiliate marketing essentially requires the fewest skills, largely because you're not actually dealing with anything that happens beyond or even all the way up until a customer actually buys the product. All you're really doing is lead generation, using words to get them to say, yeah, I want to look into that, and then sending them into actually somebody else's sales funnel, at which point they buy a product and you're done. So affiliate marketing requires the fewest skills. Now, that doesn't mean it's easy. Lead generation, there's a whole world out there of lead generation. We have multiple courses related specifically to lead generation, and there's still a lot to learn, but it's still relatively the fewest amount of skills required. E-commerce, you're going to add to affiliate marketing that now you're going to need to go source products to sell, which obviously we teach you how to do. In our e-com incubator course, you're going to need to handle transactions, which obviously we teach you how to do, and you're going to need to be able to give some basic customer support. Obviously we teach you how to do that. So there's a few more skills required for e-commerce. And what you'll notice is, if you remember the three phases, how these business models move through the three phases, there's a correlation. More skills, more infrastructure, more predictability and stability, more underlying value, right? Consulting, basically take the e-commerce skill set and really add to it the ability to speak and connect with people, and sell verbally, not in an awkward way, but if you're, going to provide marketing services to a business, you're going to need to be able to talk to them about it and probably get them to agree to pay you for it, right? And that's typically not going to happen in writing. I mean, it can sometimes, but a lot of times you're going to need to maybe get on the phone. And then information marketing and product creation, if you decide to go there, essentially you're going to need the full stack of skills, but not surprisingly, that's where the biggest opportunity lies as well. Okay, so that's looking at it from a skills perspective. Now let's look at these business models from a speed perspective. In other words, hey, I want to make some money, and this is different for every person. This is why you have an advisor who kind of assesses your personal situation and helps steer you in the right direction. I couldn't give a blanket answer to you about which one you should do. For some people, speed is super important. They've got to move now. They've got to move fast. Either they've got an issue that they're up against, or they just know themselves where if they don't get a quick result, they're not going to stick with something. For those people, I would say, yeah, maybe look at e-commerce. It tends to move the fastest because there's only a little amount of setup that has to happen to get a product into a store, and you can turn the dial on it pretty quickly as long as you have a budget to run some ads. Consulting and affiliate marketing both tend to move at what I would call a medium pace, mainly because when you're, on the consulting side, typically you've got to learn some skills to be able to provide the services. There's a little bit of time there. And then B, because you're selling to businesses don't typically make a purchase decision in the next 30 seconds. So there might be a little bit of a time on a sales cycle to kind of land your first couple clients there. And on affiliate marketing, it's more because typically you're doing research and really setting up an infrastructure or an ecosystem within a certain niche. So if you're going to be an affiliate marketer, there's going to be some research around picking your niche. And certainly this is true in e-commerce too, but once you pick your niche, in affiliate marketing, there's going to be a little more time to kind of assemble the assets that go together that are going to allow you to monetize within that niche over time and monetize your lead generation. E-commerce, you're going somewhat more for a quick hit and a quick result, so you can, flip ads on and get a quick burst of sales with e-com. With affiliate marketing, it's a little slower burn business model, so you're typically going to take more time to put the assets together. And then info marketing and product creation, this is the slowest, no bones about it. I mean, I've spent years getting Entre to where it is. So if you're going to play the info marketing game, you're going to play the long game. But the beautiful thing is affiliate marketing, e-commerce, consulting, whichever way you navigate through those three, you're assembling the skills to be able to do whatever you want in the future. And then we look at these businesses as far as stability. And again, in business, when I think stability, I think sellability. How willing would someone else be to buy my thing with their money? If they're willing to take it on, it means it's stable. It means it's low risk. It means it's predictable. It means it's healthy. It's liable to last long into the future. In this aspect, these business models are pretty clear. Affiliate marketing, look, I love affiliate marketing. I did it for 5 years. I changed my life with affiliate marketing. I dug out of a massive hole with affiliate marketing, but it is, of the business models, the one that I would least likely be able to sell. E-commerce, a little more stable and sellable. Consulting business, very sellable. I know because I sold my book of business in my agency for quite a lot of money. And then information marketing and product creation is hyper sellable. Although, using myself and Entre as an example, it's so sellable because it's so valuable, which means almost why would you ever want to? But it has very specific and obvious values as a business. Okay, so these are the different aspects that you can use to evaluate the business models. Now, I know that in the back of a lot of people's minds, they're like, and I say this with love, but a lot of you are like, okay, whatever, Jeff, that's all great. How much money can I make? So I decided to add another row just for you, just for those of you asking that question, to say you can make a ton of money with all of these business models. That is not the line of sight that you need on these business models. I know affiliate marketers who make literally, $40-50 million a year with just affiliate marketing, nothing else. I know people who own e-commerce stores that do, millions of dollars a month. You met one of them in the training. I know people with consulting practices and agencies far bigger than the one that I ever built. People that have 9-figure agencies. And certainly information marketing and product creation. I mean, there's huge names in the world of business that have used that business model to build mega businesses. It's not about saying, how can I make the most money? It's about saying, okay, what skills do I have? What skills am I willing to learn? What skills am I excited to learn? How fast do I want to go? How fast do I need to go? How concerned am I with my exit plan and being able to cash out of my thing? Or am I, what else do I have going on in my life that where maybe I just need to, build, if I make money for a few years, that's great. Or I'd like to be able to sell it in 5 or 10 years. Like, this is all personal decisions and variables that I can't speak to, which is why I've put this presentation together. But if you're saying, well, I just want to make the most money possible, that's actually not enough to know which direction you should go. So now that we've looked at the business models and sort of what I'll call the theory or the idea or the framework of all this, I want to just kind of talk direct, right? I want to just speak to you, like, keep it real, if you will. So there's a saying that you may have heard that says, no battle plan survives contact with the enemy. And what that basically means is there's a theory, there's the formula or the the technique or the school. That term may not mean anything to you right now, but basically what we just mean is using these internet-based tools to like market and sell stuff, which obviously if we're building any kind of a business, doesn't matter what kind of a business, there needs to be marketing and selling happening, or else there's no money and there's no sales and there's no business. So the theory versus the practice, in other words, the whole point of the business plan is to make plans. It's to make decisions, right? We want to be making decisions based on how things are actually going to go, not the theoretical thing that we learned in the classroom, so to speak. So this for this last bit of this presentation, I'm just going to kind of talk to you directly from over a decade of real world experience. I've been in these trenches for, all the way since back in 2008, which means I've seen them then and I've seen them now, and I have a pretty good view on where they're headed. And not all things are equal. It's not the same as it was 10 years ago. So I'm going to talk to you about the real life, real world, practical application of being in the digital business space right now today. And here's the deal. In practice, these are not actually separate silos. Like up to this point, I've explained this all as sort of like these are different business well, they are different business models, but like they're uniquely different day-to-day operations, like affiliate marketing versus e-commerce versus consulting versus, we talked in this presentation about info marketing and product creation, that those are as different as like one of them is, let's say like farming for soybeans, and another one is like doing accounting for a bank, and another one is like being a firefighter, and another one is like, being a professional hang glider or something. Like that, they're that different. They're not that different. They're actually very, very overlapping and very, very similar. In practice, these are not at all separate silos. And so rather than try to explain to you what I mean, again, theoretically, I'm just going to give you a practical, real-world scenario that illustrates the point. So let's say that you went through this presentation and you said, you know what, I'm going to start with e-commerce because he had e-commerce marked as the one that I can go the fastest with. And I want to go fast, right? So I'm going to start with e-commerce. So the first thing I'm going to do, I go through the e-commerce training, and which is, we have a course specifically focused on e-commerce, and it's going to say, all right, you need to find products to sell, you need to source suppliers, and you need to create your store, and you need to set up your billing, and you need to so on and so forth, right? So first I'm going to start by finding a product that I want to sell. Now, as soon as I go find a product that I want to sell, it's going to say, now you need to do research on other similar products or competitors so that you can start to figure out what the demand is, what the market is for that product. So you go out and you start researching that product and you find other similar products, and you're going to want to say, okay, well, how are other products that are similar to the product that I want to create for my e-commerce business or that I want to sell for my e-commerce business, how are those other products being sold? So then you're going to start doing what's called funnel hacking, and you're going to start hacking their sales funnels. And that means go essentially, spy on your competitors, right? Like, how are people selling this? What does their first page look like? And then if you opt in or you click the link, what's the next page look like? And you're going to take screenshots of it, and you're going to really study it and try to figure out how it works, why it works, and so forth. And so then you're going to go, all right, well, now I need to learn. And as you remember, when we looked at the different skills, they all require sales funnels. So you're going to say, all right, I need to start building my own sales funnel for my own product. But as you start building your own sales funnel, you're going to go, well, the easiest way to create a sales funnel is I need to learn to build a sales funnel. So I don't want to have to worry about sourcing the product and creating the funnel at the same time. So why don't I just create my own funnel, but use someone else's product? Because as you're researching these other products that are similar to the product that you want to sell, what you're going to find is a lot of them have affiliate programs. So you go, all right, well, maybe I'll just build my funnel selling somebody else's similar product. And then once I know that I have my funnel dialed in, then I'll set up my own product in my own store because I can capture more of the revenue than just being an affiliate, right? Well, so at this point, you're now actually doing affiliate marketing in service of creating the funnel so that you can do e-commerce marketing. And then what's going to happen is, let's say you're in the Entre Nation Facebook group, or really any one of a zillion groups online talking about this stuff. And let's say you ask a question, or you publish a result, or something, maybe you reach out for support. And as soon as you ask that question, here's what's going to happen. Somebody else in the group who's been kind of barking up the same tree is going to hit you up. We'll call this person Joe for now, and they'll say, hey, I'm actually trying to do, create an e-com store too, but I saw that you're creating a funnel. Maybe you could help me with my funnel. Is that something? And you're going to go, oh man, I feel like an expert because I know more than this guy based on the questions he's asking me. So now you're going to say, yeah, Joe, I can help you. Why don't we hop on a call and, we'll chat for 20 minutes. And if I can help you, we'll figure something out. Well, next thing you know, you're helping Joe and now you're doing digital consulting. And again, I've seen this happen literally hundreds of times in our groups where one person is learning one thing, somebody else who's hasn't learned as much about the one thing reaches out to the other person for help. And next thing you know, one guy's helping another guy and they're doing consulting. So let's say you help Joe for a few months and you get a good result and you go, man, I think I got the hang of this. Meanwhile, you're building your funnel. Meanwhile, you're selling affiliate products. Meanwhile, you're helping Joe. Joe gets a result. Now Joe wants to give you a testimonial and you're like, hey, I should actually create a little checklist to say how I helped Joe and I could sell that as an offer into my own funnel. Well, now you're in the product creation and information marketing business. So this is actually how this stuff tends to play out. It's not like when I started, and I'll show you this. Like when I started, it took me years to work through all of these phases. But the world is sped up now, and so many people are doing this thing that basically you go through this scenario, and all of a sudden, you're actually doing all 4 of the business models within probably 6 months that I just outlined. So again, if we look at my story, the thing you have to remember about my story is I started in 2008. The world was very different in 2008. I did affiliate marketing from 2009. I still do it, but it was my primary, in fact, it was my sole business model from 2009 to 2013. I did affiliate marketing for 5 years. And nobody around me ever said, Jeff, what are you doing? Show me what you're doing. Teach me what you're doing. I want to know what you're doing. But that was back then. If I told people, oh, I'm doing digital affiliate marketing, they looked at me like I have 2 heads. And then I started an agency in 2013, and now I was doing consulting as an agency owner. I spent from 2013 to 2000, probably 16 or 17, 50% of our conversations or more with business owners were actually trying to convince them that they even needed a website or they even needed digital marketing or that their Google presence mattered or that their online reputation mattered. We were having so many conversations for so long, just educating people about how important this stuff was. You fast forward to now, at whatever time you're watching this video, you don't have to convince anybody that this stuff matters. Everybody knows this is where it's at now. So my story that took over a decade to kind of move through the phases from affiliate marketing, I have my e-com store now, my digital agency. The fact is now, in this day and age, I get hit up every single day. I'm having conversations every single day. I'm involved in opportunities and getting approached with opportunities every single day that involve all of these things. So the fact that my story took over a decade to unfold, it would be naive and it would be wrong for me to convey to you the idea that you're embarking on this 10-year journey of moving slowly through these business models. The fact is, it's all going to happen really fast. That's just how it is now because everybody's talking about this stuff and so many people are wanting to do this stuff. So the conclusion that I'll give you, and the reason I kind of wanted to tack this real world practical versus theoretical conversation onto the end of this presentation here is, in the real world now, digital marketing business models, these business models we've talked about, they're all variations of the same basic things. There's a few basic, or there's a basic process that essentially captures all of them, which is you generate traffic, you run the traffic into sales funnels, you optimize your sales funnels and build them in such a way that they actually make sales, and then you have to support the products of that, support the actual sales. Like if you have a customer, you have to deliver them the product and take care of them. And even your traffic you have to support because your traffic turns into a list and you support your list by building a relationship to and marketing to your list or building a relationship with and marketing to your list. That's the process. It doesn't matter what business model you're doing. And the skills that allow you to do that process are basically the same skills for all the business models. You have to have a basic operational process for, making sure that posts get done and leads get generated and funnels get checked and carts get, transactions can happen. You have to have basic branding skills to get your message out there and in a way that's compelling and anybody would actually want to, be attracted to your brand. You have to have basic copywriting skills so that whatever you're doing to move people from one step to the next of whatever phase they're in, that you're able to write it in an effective way and deliver the good message. And you have to have the basic technical skills. Thankfully, the internet's gotten to a point where the tech is mostly pretty simple because they've created all these shortcuts for things, but you still got to kind of know how to piece it all together. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter whether you're talking about affiliate marketing or e-commerce or consulting or product creation or doing influencer marketing or it's all the same basic stuff. And there's a popular term for this online that you'll see and hear a lot now that's basically the full stack. That you want to have the full stack of marketing skills. And if you have the full stack of marketing skills, then you can basically be successful with all of this. And this is the reason why now, for me, I do all of them literally every day. I do affiliate marketing. I have multiple e-commerce businesses. I have an agent. I actually have both a large scale agency business and a boutique agency business. I have information marketing and product creation. That's Entre is one giant information marketing and product creation business for myself. I do influencer branding. I do all this stuff because I have basically the full stack of skills. And so at this point, it's overly myopic, I guess, like nearsighted to be overly focused on honing people into one thing. Frankly, when we started Entre, we wanted to present these business models as these sort of bite-sized, easy things that you can sort of, pick one and focus on one. And that's still very much the case. If you just want to do e-com, you can just do e-com. But and if you just want to do affiliate marketing, you just do affiliate marketing because that's what I did for a long time. But in terms of charting your learning course, I want to just really spell it out that the best way to think about this stuff isn't in silos. It's not like, okay, let me put my blinders on and I'm going to do digital consulting only. Because frankly, think about it as a digital consultant, your very first customer might say to you, well, okay, can you help me with my e-com business? And you go, oh, well, crap, I guess I need to do e-com too. And then your very next customer might say, well, after I get the customer, I'd like to put them on my list and send them some links to affiliate products. And now you're helping them with affiliate marketing. So as a consultant, obviously it helps to know all the things. As an affiliate marketer, the skills you use as an affiliate marketer allow you to very easily roll into e-commerce and product creation and so forth. Again, you get the point. They all kind of overlap together. So as you're charting your learning course, I just want to sort of say, I don't think the point is to pick one thing and build a wall around yourself and just do that thing. I think the point is to see these models for what they are, which are sort of different facets of the same stone. Like if you think of a diamond, these are different faces, but they're all faces of the same stone. And they all ultimately overlap and feed into the same thing. And so with our courses, the Entre Digital courses, we basically have three courses. We have our affiliate marketing course, we have our e-commerce course, and we have our consulting and agency course that ultimately kind of teaches you everything you would need to move into launching your own products too. But for me to present these as like a menu and say, well, do you want the fish or the chicken or the tofu? Like you're just going to pick one, I think again would be a little bit narrow-minded. And the reality is, frankly, there's a value for you not only in getting all.
All right, so let's look at this price here. You're looking at $4,000, 1,000 there, 1,000 there, and 2,000 there. And that's not marketing costs either.
The courses because the skills are all going to overlap and ultimately you're going to need them all anyways. But as with most things, there's also an economic value in getting them all as well. So if you look at the individual prices of the course, it comes out to about $4,000. We put together what we call the stack or the bundle, where you can basically get all these courses for $29.97. And again, it's not really so much of a sales thing. Frankly, for us, it doesn't really change what we're going to eat for dinner, whether somebody buys one course for $9.97 or two for $19.94 or you get the bundle or you buy one now or you buy the next in 6 months. It's more just a practical value-based conversation to say, in the real world, it's it's not actually how it plays out to think that you can isolate these business models and treat them as if it's what you're focused on and the other ones don't matter, because in reality they're all kind of a mesh of the same stuff. Because if you look at the skills required, lead generation, written selling, which is copywriting, and constructing sales funnels, those are really the core of all internet-based business. And if you start to learn those skills, everything else is kind of just details, sourcing products, dealing with customers, even adding your own support or creating your own products, your own digital courses. Like those all just become almost sort of icing on the cake. But the cake is being able to generate leads, being able to convert those leads with good copy, being able to generate sales through a sales funnel, and having an offer that is profitable. And when you have that, like, the whole world opens up to you. And again, I think that you at that point you're going to go, man, I want the full stack. And frankly, in order to get those skills, you kind of need to approach it as saying, I need the full stack. So I do really pretty heartily recommend that you just go for all three of the Entre Digital courses. It's a great value. But again, talk to your advisor and work. I know everybody's got different budgets and different timelines and different strategy, but I would be remiss if I didn't just give you my opinion that the way to go is to just get the full stack right there out on the table and say yes to learning all of it, because you're going to need all of it in the end anyways. Okay. So thanks for your time. It is time for your business plan now. Whatever decision you're going to make, get with your advisor, talk to your advisor, make the best decision for you, but also recognize that you've come this far. Like I said at the very beginning of this video, you didn't come this far just to come this far. I hope that you've enjoyed everything that I've been able to share with you through the blueprint, through the the 3 P's of excellence and the legs of action and the phases of legacy and the different business models and the different course offerings that we have and the full stack of skills. And it all comes together to this moment right now where you get on with your advisor, have your business plan, and ultimately make a decision. Whatever decision you're going to make, the worst decision is to think that anything's going to change if you don't actually make a decision. So whatever that decision is, I empower you and wish you the best with that. Go have a great business plan with your advisor, and I'll look forward to seeing you in your future training with Entre. Thanks so much.
All right, so we're looking at $3,000 plus marketing cost plus skill time and set. So there's a lot to look at. It's not just what can I say? Just tools and so forth. This it'll require more than just money for this, the 3,000, and you'll need the marketing money. Plus, you'll need to get results and money coming in. Plus, you'll have to have the cost of paying off the loan. So there's more. So all that has to be taken into consideration, and do you have the skills to actually make the sales so this can bring in the results? That's the big question. Because I bought other programs around $5,000, and the actions weren't done, the sales weren't made, profits weren't made, and we just ended up going in debt. So there you are. It's Roger Mark from Lloyd's, Montana. Some decisions have to be made with the coach, and then you need to get past inactivity and costs and results. Because people don't pay for anything but results. If you think they do, you're mistaken. Good day.